Good morning. Welcome to this week's IGTV. If you are frustrated and resentful at your teenager's $1 million wish lists, and no matter what you buy them, they don't seem to like it anyway, then you are in the right place. This week here, I am talking about how to unspoil your teenager this Christmas and the steps that you can take to lower resentment and increase gratitude and appreciation so that Christmas becomes a little more joyful holiday time instead of one that you just dread and feel like, ugh, and I don't want any part of it, and you just start to feel annoyed and disappointed in your teenager. My name is Allie Payne. I am a certified life coach, certified relationship systems coach, and I've been working with parents and teens for 15 years now to help them end the painful disconnection, emotional blow-ups, and stressful silences to build connection based on trust and respect. I am also a retired teen, and I was a very troubled teen. So now as a parent myself, I am sharing everything I learned and what I learned the hard way with parents like you to help make this journey just a little bit easier. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're hopping on here on Instagram, welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit a subscribe so you don't miss out. I'm here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific talking all about things about parenting teens. All right, let's jump in, shall we? Unspoiling your teenager this Christmas. Okay. So it starts around now, and you get the Christmas list. The wish list from your teenager that is either this long, or maybe it's just filled with literally $1 million items. And you're like, excuse me now? One, who do you think your parents are, and what is it exactly you think we do for a living that we might be able to afford this list? And second, what kind of ungrateful, entitled teenager are you that you would actually hand me this on a wish list? Where did you even come from? Because I don't even know who you are. And I'm so saddened and disheartened by what you've handed me. I don't want to be around you right now. You know how I know? Because I get lists like that handed to me. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, just because your teenager hands you their unfathomable Christmas wish list does not make them the spawn of Satan or an absolutely terrible person. Okay, it just doesn't. It makes them normal. Because remember, please, their Christmas list, it is not a command list. It is just that. It is a wish list. Now, let me also say this. Experience builds perspective. Your teenager has never had the experience of working full-time at 1, 2, 3 jobs to pay the mortgage, the bills, put food on the table, buy basic clothes, pay for gas, a vehicle, all of the things that are necessary and usually quite stressful to support a family, let alone try and have some money left at the end of the month to make things like birthdays and Christmas fun and meaningful and special. Your teenager does not have that experience. And so they do not have the perspective of what that requires. And that's what you're seeing in their list. That doesn't make them wrong or bad, or it's not a sign that you have wildly missed the mark and failed as a parent, okay? Now, when you get the wish list, I want you to first remember that because it's so real right now in this pandemic, and there's been massive financial impact for many, many people. That wish list that your teenager or your child is handing you can feel like a gut punch, right? It can feel like a gut punch, like things already felt stressful and hard enough, and now there's this. Take a deep breath. This is not a reflection of a terrible teenager or you not being a great parent, okay? All right. Step number 2. I want you to use this list as a way to connect with your teenager. So be cautious, because I know, I cannot say this enough. I literally go through this every year with my teenagers. I get where you're coming from. Use this list as a way to connect with your teenager, because it can really easily and quickly become a tool of ridicule and criticism, maybe shaming too, where you get the list and you do the Scooby-Doo with it, and it's easy to just laugh and be like, who are you kidding? And then I know you might mean it jokingly, but you laughing at your teenager about what they wish for isn't going to create the connection that you're probably looking for. So remove attachment to why they wrote it and use it as a tool to connect by doing things like this. Ask them about what's on their wish list. Like, not because you're going to buy it or you're not going to buy it, but just ask them about those things. What is important to you about this item? Have you ever used it before? Do your friends have it? What was it like? What did you like about it? Get curious, because this list is your teenager's dream life, if you will. And if you're willing, it's a way for you to get to know them better. What is it that they dream about? What is it that their experiences they're looking for in their life? Oh, wow, that's amazing. What is the experience that they are looking for in their life? And that says it's not about the stuff, okay? Because everything that we own, this pen, for instance, is my favorite pen. This is my favorite pen. I will look around the house until I find this pen to write in my notepad with this pen, because it's my favorite. What is the experience of this pen? Well, first of all, it writes really well. Second of all, it's metal, and so I find it really sturdy, and it has this nice rubber grip section, so it really fits in my hand well. I feel professional. I feel like I can write my notes faster and not worry that the pen is going to run out. There's all kinds of experiences I get from this silly little pen. You see, you're getting to know me better. I'm about efficiency. I'm about time. I'm about quality. Okay, sturdy, reliable. Those are things that are important to me. But you might have just been like, Allie, just grab a friggin' pen. No, I'll walk around the house to find this pen. Okay, so when you can use your Christmas list as a tool to get to know your teenager, what are the experiences that they're trying to create in their life that are important to them? It doesn't mean you're going to buy the things on the list, but you're getting to know who they are, what matters to them, and the experiences they're looking for. So don't miss that opportunity to connect. Now, what if you look at this list and it feels just very, very disheartening because you can't afford these things or they're way out of your budget? Well, here's my top tip for that. When you look at that list, rather than saying to your child, your teenager, well, I can't afford anything on this list, or I can't afford these things on this list. These are outside of my budget. Okay. You could say these things are outside of my budget. I recommend staying away from I can't afford this, not because it's not true, but because children internalize a message that their value isn't equivalent to that thing. I'm not saying that's not what you're saying, okay? But that's what they do in their brains. So rather than say I can't afford this, say some of these things are out of my budget. Okay, that's the language. Here's the second key part. Choose the larger things on the list that there's no way you're gonna buy. You're just like, really, no. And I want you to say to your teenager, how can I help you develop a strategy to buy this for yourself? How can I help you develop a plan, a financial plan to earn the money to buy some of these things on your own? Here's the thing that happens behind this. If you say to them, well, this is ridiculous, I can't afford these things, or I'm not buying that for you, it feels as though that's an invalidation to them of what's important to them. I get you're saying it's the actual item. What they hear is, well, that's stupid. You're so immature. I can't even believe you would like that. So it becomes an invalidation of who they are. That's what they hear. So when you say to them instead, how can I help you create a budget or a plan, a strategy to buy this on your own? What they hear is, hey, I get that that's important to you. I'm going to get behind you and support you, even though I'm not buying it for you. So there's a difference there where you're saying, if this is important to you, I will help you make a plan, but I'm not going to buy it for you. So that's a way of getting around, I can't afford it, or it's not in my budget, or there's just no way I'm buying that for you. But I'll help you see how you can buy it. Now, strategies can be simple, like babysitting. I live in Canada, so it could be snow shoveling. My kids in 3 weeks around Christmas in my area alone could probably earn $500 if they wanted to just pick up a shovel and hit the neighborhood every time it snowed, depending on how much snow we get. So there's lots of things, washing, cleaning cars. There's lots of things that kids can do that you can empower them to create this experience and have that item for themselves. And you can do everything like build a telethon thermometer, kind of, where you mark off like how close they are to the goal, and help really get behind them in making sure that they get that thing. And they will take so much ownership over that item itself because you got behind them and supported them. Number two, you help them build the confidence to see they have agency over their life. They have some control and they are capable of earning items. Number three, they will start to see what that item actually cost. Because when they put it on paper and ask you for it, they have no perception of what that actually costs. But when they have to put in, let's say for round dollars, they make $10 an hour helping neighbors do certain things, okay? At $10 an hour, and let's say it costs $2,000 or something crazy, okay? Are they willing to spend 200 hours to earn that thing? Puts it in perspective, right? Are they willing to take 200 hours of their life to have that item? And all of a sudden they might say, yeah, it's not worth that. I'll just use it when I'm over at my friends and enjoy it there. You'd be like, okay. And it wasn't because you said they couldn't have it. It's that they've determined it's not worth that much of their time. So they start to put time value around monetary value toward this thing that they want, okay? All right, so that's one of the suggestions. Another suggestion is on these big ticket items, what if you can afford it, but you think it's inappropriate to buy as a gift? Like you're not spending $1,000 thing for Christmas or whatever. Then you could say to them, okay, I'll make you a deal. I will pay for half, but I'm going to help you come up with a strategy to earn the other half. So then they feel as though you're supporting them and you're getting behind them, but you're doing it in a way that has a boundary for you to be part of it without buying the whole thing for them. So this is a good way of teaching them, again, value for money is here's your 50%. You have their little thermometer, their telethon thermometer, right? Okay, I'll give you 50, 50% of this, I'm going to help you like mark off the other strategy to build the other, to get the 50% of your own so you can buy it on your own. Okay, so that's another strategy. A third strategy would be maybe that particular thing, item, is really expensive new, but what if you could help them find an equivalent that's used, like on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Kijiji or something that is a similar type product but costs way less and is more reasonable and it's only slightly used. So that's another way to get around some really expensive items. Another way, oh, I just lost it. It was in my head. Oh yes, this is the point that I want to make about it, more expensive items. And we did this with our son as well. There was a scooter that he wanted when he was 12. And he was a big scooterer. Like, we knew he was going to use it. Okay. He was all into scootering. He loved it. There was a scooter that he wanted that was, we felt, more money than what we wanted to spend on a single present for him. Okay. So then we found this scooter. He found this scooter in a local store. So no shipping. And it was 40% off. It was 40% off. So here's what we did. Now, this wasn't necessarily for Christmas, okay? But this does lead into taking responsibility for larger ticket items. We said, okay, we will purchase this scooter for you today because it's 40% off and sorry, internet issue. Okay, so it was 40% off. We all want to appreciate a cheaper price. So we said, we will buy this for you today so that we all save money. And then we took him home because we're super mean. He was 12. And we wrote up a full contract that said, this was the total. This is the half that we are committing to. This is the half that you are committing to. Repayment will look like this. Weekly payments of this much money for this many weeks until it is paid off in full. If you don't make a payment, the scooter is ours until you catch up. Now, he didn't miss a payment. He was right on the money and he paid it off and we both saved money and he got what he wanted. But it was another way of, like, around this time of year, you know, we just finished Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then there's going to be Boxing Day sales and things like that. So if it's a bigger ticket item that you can get at a lower price, that might be the way to go. Oh, another thing that I was going to bring up for big ticket items like a cell phone or something like that. Often last year's phones are on amazing sales this time of year. So would they be willing to get something that isn't quite as new as today and get last year's, but it would still be brand new? So that's another suggestion for a big ticket item. Okay, so that's how you deal with the big ticket items on the list that feel a little outlandish, by staying away from ridicule, shaming, or criticism that somehow they are entitled or ungrateful. Wow. Sorry, again, I don't know what's going on the internet, because they asked for it, okay? So stay away from that. Now, I want to move into gratitude and giving. Gratitude and appreciation. Here are some tips for you, because when you give your teenager a gift and you've worked hard for that money, you know what it took to earn the money after taxes to have that, to buy that thing. It can be really disheartening when you give them this gift that they say they wanted and it's expensive and then they're like, meh, whatevs. Ouch. Or they get it and are like, oh, thanks. And then they just never use it. That hurts and it builds resentment, and that will create disconnection every single time. So here's some of the things that we've done with our kids that I have seen, and I've seen happen in other families that have literally turned the page on Christmas time, birthdays, and receiving gifts. So first of all, appreciation is not the same as gratitude. That's a bit of a different topic, but we're talking about building a culture of gratitude around Christmas presents and removing this entitlement, ungrateful thing. In order for your teenager to appreciate what they're receiving, you need to include them in giving. This is so true every time. When you include your child or your teenager in a giving process, what it takes, number one, to earn and have that money to give the gift, what it took to go around town and find that gift, or what it took to home make the gift, to be intentional about giving something that is important to the receiver. All of those things, and then being able to watch the receiver open that gift that your child, your teenager was a part of creating is far more meaningful, hands down, than them receiving gifts alone. So here's some suggestions on what you can do. What we did was we've served food at a homeless shelter. I know things are a little different in a pandemic right now. We've served food at a homeless shelter locally. And I was in the kitchen chopping and making the food. My kids were cleaning tables, putting out cutlery, and then tidying between sittings, cleaning up the tables, helping clean some of the rooms, sweeping the floors, and serving people. They were helping to serve as well. We have participated with the Salvation Army. They get a list of families who are in need, and you take the list of the family, and then you have to take a big bag and you go up and down the aisles and you fill the requests. We've helped them do, our kids have done that with us. We have adopted families sometimes in the past. We've done Operation Shoebox, the Christmas shoeboxes. The point is, though, your kids have to be part of it from beginning to end. So when we did Operation Shoebox, when our kids were little, I would take them to the dollar store or Target or Walmart, and they would have to pick items for the young, I have 2 boys, for boys their age. And I would consistently have to remind them, these were for kids who had very few toys. They didn't have electricity necessarily. So all of these things, they wanted to buy them like a ruler and some pencils for school and paper to write on. And they wanted them to have flashlights. I said, nope, they don't have batteries and they have nowhere to plug in. So we got the wind up, the rechargeable wind up flashlights that don't require a battery or plugging in. Ones that had radios so they could actually listen to some news or music. So in their area, things like this, it's about involving them. It can be a homemade gift. They don't have to have money. A homemade gift like baking, a craft, to Christmas decorations, something small, but something, if that's their thing, is crafting. What we did when our kids were 11 was we said, from now on, you have to save $25 over the period of 1 year. Seriously, they could do that. They saved $25 over the period of a year, and they had to start giving gifts to each other, my 2 boys. Now, this was a huge learning for them because I would take them individually to go shopping for their brother. But what's the first thing they wanted to do? They wanted to buy the gift that they wanted. And I would say, no, as gift giving is about finding something that your brother wants, not what you want, what your brother wants. And we would go through toy stores, but we would also go through clothing, mostly hoodies and things. We could find things on the clearance rack that were $25. That was their budget. They had to pay that $25. I did not give them that $25. I said I would pay the taxes if it, was $25 and then the taxes was $3 or something. I would pay the taxes. But that was up to them to save that $25 and then buy presents for each other. And I'm telling you, to this day, there was a couple hoodies or sweaters that were huge winners that their brother obsessed over and wore for like 3 years. And they were so proud that they had bought that gift for their brother, that item that their brother coveted and loved, that it made gift giving so much richer for them. So it might be siblings, it might be extended family. When you involve your children in the gift giving process, it changes their perspective of receiving. I cannot explain that enough, okay? So those are some suggestions to include them in the receiving at Christmas. Now, I want to also say, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. Okay, the last thing that I want to say is about you. you giving the gift, okay? Giving Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, does not make you a better or worse parent. I want you to ask yourself honestly, why are you giving this gift? Why are you giving the gift? If you are giving the gift because you are looking for your teenager's validation of your value as a parent, their acceptance, their love, put it back. Don't buy it. Because that is building a very toxic and unhealthy relationship dynamic where you are only purchasing the gift for your teenager's validation. Listen to me right now. You are already enough. Your inherent worth and value in this world is already more than you will ever know. And it has nothing to do with the gifts you buy for your teenager. Okay? So please stop. Please stop. When you are purchasing gifts, we have a rule in our house. They get 3 gifts. That's it. 3 reasonably priced gifts plus a stocking. That's what we do. And again, we say to them on their Christmas list, how can we help you build a strategy to buy that for yourself? Because I'm not here to fulfill all of their wishes on this earth. That's not my job. Okay? Sure, I want to bring them joy. I want it to be a surprise, but I'm not doing it to have them love me more or compensate for having moved that year, or they had to change schools, or maybe you went through a divorce. Maybe they lost a family member this year. Your job in buying these gifts is not and never will be to compensate for a hardship in their life. Am I clear? Your gift giving is not going to rescue your teen from any emotional hardship they currently have in their life. It may be a temporary Band-Aid, but it will not fix or rescue them from any of that. So let's put that aside, okay? Do not go into debt to purchase gifts off of your teenager's unrealistic, ridiculous wish list. Do not. Because you think that's going to make them happier and you get the stamp of approval as a good parent. The second that you go into debt, I know that this is easier said than done. I get it. But what are you waiting for to start the process? It starts with you. Give yourself permission to own that your value does not come from trying to be a Disney dad. And I don't mean that just as a dad. That's just a saying. Maybe it's Disney mom, like whatever. That doesn't make you a better parent. It starts with you. So waiting for your teenager to let you off the hook and give you permission to not do that, you're going to be waiting a whole long time. It will build so much resentment because your teenager will never appreciate the gift that you gave them as much as they need to or you want them to. Every time you look at the payment that you're making or the interest you're paying on that gift, which is now in the way of you doing things for yourself, sometimes basics like you need some new work clothes. You need to, get some repairs done on your car. You need to replace some things around your house, but you can't afford to because you're making payments or interest payments on a gift that you decided to go into debt for your child over Christmas. Don't do it. You're also you are sowing in resentment so deep into that relationship, and you are building expectations, unrealistic expectations that somehow your teenager is going to get everything on their wish list, and you are going to continually compromise your emotional, physical, and financial health to somehow please your teenager. Stop it. Just stop. This isn't about your value. Never has been, never will be. Okay? So don't go into debt to buy Christmas presents. Listen, we lived on subsidy for 4 years raising young kids. Our Christmas looked like pretty much nothing, except for we had money from grandparents that bought a few, yeah, right, Lisa? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work. Our Christmas looked like a few small presents, and that was it. And the rest of the money from the grandparents bought passes to things like a science center annual passes so that I could have something to take the kids to go and do. A swimming pass, a science pass, and there was a science center pass and a couple other things. That's what the money from the grandparents went to. Oh, they would buy them one ski or a lesson or something at Christmas for an experience. Learning. Okay? Create an experience. If it's not about presents, that's okay. Buy a few or make a few small things and have it be about an experience. Because I'm going to tell you this for sure. Teenagers message me every single day by the hundreds. They want a relationship with you. They actually want to feel loved and have a connection with you. And a present, any gift, will never do that. Ever. They miss you. They want to know that you want to spend time with them, that you love them. So those are my tips for unspoiling your teen this holiday season. I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you're watching this on Instagram, give me a follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscribe and share if you feel so obliged to do so. For other teens or parents who you feel are struggling in this holiday season under a mountain of cultural expectation that says you have to literally open your already empty wallet and somehow make this the Christmas of your teenager's dreams. It won't ever be that way. It won't. Now, a couple more quick things I want to add. If your teenager doesn't appreciate what you gave them as much as they thought they would, or even you thought they would, that is not the time in January or February to start dropping critical, passive-aggressive statements about them being ungrateful. How many things have you bought for yourself that you thought you would love, you swore you would use, and then you're like, oh, yeah, I don't really use that. How many times have you done that? I've done it. Totally, I've done it. Your child isn't perfect. So if they don't love and appreciate everything you bought for them, please don't guilt trip them, okay? Because that's a one-way ticket away from a relationship with you, okay? Maybe you find a way to sell it and use the money for them to purchase something else. You can donate it and say, well, better luck next time. We'll just keep trying. We have a rule too in our house. I know I was going to wrap and I'm starting into something else, but I forgot to say this. This is a huge thing in our house. We have a rule that when our kids open their presents at Christmas or birthday, they cannot put those away in their room until an equal or greater value of items come out of their room. Number one, it clears clutter. Number two, it teaches them that more is not better. Stuff doesn't make them happy. Number three, it has them prioritize things in their immediate environment that they are of value and meaning to them. So they have to bring out an equal or greater value of stuff out of their bedrooms before anything else, the new stuff, can go be put away. This created some very meaningful conversations with our kids when they were young to decide. There were some tough choices they made, and we were always having them be part of taking what they brought out of their room and either recycle, trash, dispose of it, or more importantly, donate it, because there are always people who have less. Sometimes they would donate it to the church, our church, when they were young, because it meant they still got to play with that toy on Sundays when they were in the kids' rooms. And sometimes they would donate it to people in their classes, or we'd take it to a thrift store or something. Have your kids understand that more isn't better and stuff doesn't make them happy. So when they have to bring out things out of their room before more things go in, you're not going to have a massive conversation later about how cluttered their room is, okay? Or why do they have so much stuff there? Well, if it's all stuff, how do I know what has any meaning? Right? Like, meh. Okay, I promise that's my last point. I want to thank you so much for being here. I am here again every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Instagram, and these go up onto YouTube as well. If there's anything you're looking for, that you want more tips, you want more support, the link in my bio here on Instagram is always updated with the latest and greatest. If you can't find anything, just message me here on Instagram at Allie Payne, and I will do my very best to point you in the right direction to get you the resources and support that you need. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I wish you a wonderful weekend, and I will see you here next week. Bye, everybody.